Queen Elizabeth I was the last Tudor monarch, and she ruled England from 1558 until her death in 1603. Known as the Virgin Queen, she oversaw an era of exploration, artistic brilliance and political upheaval. But behind the glow of the Elizabethan age was a ruler shaped by betrayal, imprisonment and constant threats to her life. She executed rivals, crushed rebellions and ruled with a fierce, unyielding will that made her both admired and feared. By the end of her life, Elizabeth was plagued by insomnia, grief and paranoia. She refused to sleep, convinced that death would come for her the moment she closed her eyes. She spent her final days standing, silent, refusing food, refusing comfort, a queen who would not surrender even to her own body failing. She may have died in 1603, but it has been reported that Queen Elizabeth I wouldn't even allow death to stop her from making her presence known, as there have been many alleged sightings of the monarch at Windsor Castle. Today, we are going to be delving into every reported sighting of Queen Elizabeth I's ghost at Windsor Castle. Sighting number 1. The Woman in Black. The earliest major sighting comes from King George III. One night, unable to sleep, he wandered into the royal library. As he walked between the shelves, he heard the soft creak of floorboards behind him. When he turned, he saw a tall woman in a black Tudor gown standing near the far wall. Her rough collar framed a pale, stern face. She didn't speak at first, she simply watched him with an expression that felt ancient and knowing. Then, in a voice that echoed faintly through the room, she told him she was married to England. Before he could respond, she faded into the air like smoke. George III refused to enter the library alone after that night. Sighting number 2. The Floating Queen. King Edward VII, known for his skepticism of ghost stories, had an encounter that shook him deeply. He reported seeing a woman in Tudor dress floating from the royal library into an adjoining room. She didn't walk, she glided, her gown trailing behind her as though underwater. Edward VII stood frozen, watching her drift silently across the room. When she reached the doorway, she turned her head slightly as if to acknowledge him. Then she vanished. For weeks afterward, he avoided the library entirely. Sighting number 3. 8 nights in a row. King George VI experienced one of the most dramatic encounters. As tension in Europe rose and the threat of war loomed, he began seeing Elizabeth I's ghost, night after night. Each time, she appeared in the royal library, pacing slowly, her footsteps echoing on the bare floorboards. She looked troubled, her expression tight with worry. George VI believed she was warning him, urging him to prepare for the storm that was coming. After the 8th night, she stopped appearing. Shortly after these incidents, the Second World War would begin. Sighting number 4. The Sisters' Encounter. Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Margaret reportedly had their own encounter as young girls. Exploring the castle one evening, they noticed a faint glow coming from the library. Inside, a woman in Tudor dress stood near the window, her back turned to them. Her gown shimmered faintly, as though lit from within. When she turned her head, the sisters recognised her instantly from portraits. Before either could speak, the figure dissolved into thin air. The sisters ran down the hallway, breathless and shaken. Sighting number 5. Footsteps in the library. This is not a specific instance, but this is just a collection of various stories that has been told by modern staff who currently work in Windsor Castle. And castle staff continue to report sightings of Elizabeth I's presence. Many describe hearing such things as footsteps pacing across the floor, the rustle of heavy Tudor skirts, a sudden drop in temperature, and a soft sigh as though someone is in deep thought. Some staff say the footsteps always come first, then the feeling of being watched. A few have claimed to see a pale figure drifting between the shelves, only to vanish when approached. Sighting number 6. The King Charles account. A modern paranormal historian claims that King Charles III once saw the ghost of Elizabeth I during a quiet evening at Windsor. According to the account, he saw a pale woman in Tudor dress drifting through the library, her expression stern. He reportedly recognised her immediately. The historian said Charles described the encounter as unsettling but not frightening, as though the former queen was simply expecting her old home. From monarchs to modern tourists, from footsteps to full apparitions, the ghost of Queen Elizabeth I has been reported at Windsor Castle for centuries, whether she lingers out of duty, restlessness, or a desire to watch over the kingdom she once ruled. Whether these things are true or not, one thing is certain. The Virgin Queen may have left the throne in 1603, but she never truly left Windsor Castle.